Welcome to episode 101 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to take all of the issues that plague us in life and we give them a very close brush with death, and we give them an existential crisis that will cause them to spiral endlessly, wondering if they're in a weird tangential ghost universe. And while they're spiraling endlessly, we get things done. Most recently, we've been working on a supernatural action comedy book called Deathless, and Steven, it's going really well. Everything we've done, like everything you've shown me so far of the colors and the shading looks like beyond what I thought I would ever be attached to as a creator. So I was like I'm seeing it. I'm like I have to do that thing where I'm like, yeah, I did that too at 88%, baby. Like it was definitely...
Well, your flats are awesome because they're really easy to work. And then basically any lighting or stuff that didn't work, I just go over it with another layer. So like it's awesome.
Oh, dude, it's been, so for those of you who haven't been keeping up, Steve and I have been making comic books together since we were, in high school. Lately, we've been doing this one. It's called Deathless, and look at some of these pages. They look amazing. I'll show like some of the finished work. I'm going to start lettering next week, so I'm super excited for that.
That's sick.
I will tell you though, Steven.
Dude, and you know what's...
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, what's awesome about your flats that I wasn't expecting to happen. So whenever I've colored on Photoshop, once you flatted a color, Photoshop's magic wand tool is able to distinguish this is a separate shade than this shade. As long as it's not too close, you can set the tolerance level on the magic wand. Procreate doesn't have select tools that are that fancy. Like their select tool is like whatever's on this layer that you've colored, I'm going to select. So if I would have flatted like you and I hit select, like auto select, it would just select the whole layer.
I see.
But somehow, since you did it on a Photoshop style program, and I'm sure you did on clip art or something like that.
Clip Studio Paint. Yeah.
It copied that information so I can actually magic wand it basically on Procreate. So it's like the best of both worlds for me because I still have my Procreate access, but I'm able to actually use the automatic selection tool. Hence why I was able to do the backgrounds and the carpet really easily. I was just able to click it and use texture brushes. And
dude, that's awesome. That's yeah, that's really good news. It would have sucked if you were like, oh, well, nothing you did mattered. Like it's just the musical all over again, Anthony. We're gonna put you through this. It's gonna be a bunch of work, and then you're gonna rip your heart out. Let's do it. No,
I'm hoping someone just stands and corrects me. Actually, Procreate does have, like, I don't even care. This is how you ask questions in World of Warcraft if you want answers.
Oh, that's true.
You act confident.
Yes.
You know, like, no, there is no way to magic wand those colors.
Really, like, okay, if everyone wants a life pro tip for the internet, just listen to what Steven just said, and it works across the board on every social media. If you want to know something and you're not sure, just take a really strong stance about that thing in any direction, and someone will come forward and be like, actually, I spent 13 years Googling this, and you're like, thank you, now I don't have to. Like
exactly, dude. You can ask the question and that thing will get freaking tumbleweeds. Like no one will respond. But the moment you sound cocky, people jump all over just to correct you, and that's how you ask questions on the internet. People like you're the one getting trolled, buddy, not me. Right. So
I mean, we're basically like Seth Brendel from The Fly, where it's like, if you watch The Fly, he's like, I never really invent anything. I just take good inventions from these people, good inventions from these people. I throw them all together. You're just like, no one can invent a teleporter, and someone's like, I bet I can. But dude, I will tell you, I was so overwhelmed this week, like. I just utterly failed my writing this week because, I mean, for many reasons, but first of all, I will just say super feral because dude, I got way in over my head with we had a trip this week, which we will talk about in a second. Steven, you and I haven't gone away just the two of us, or just us, with no love interests, no significant others, just us, like buds in the car, being buds, we haven't done that in forever, so I was just like, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait. So I was pumped up for that. And then it hit me only a couple days ago, Steven, only right before a trip. I was like, oh, school's coming. School.
Oh no. Tina's on board with Tina's juggling all that stuff while I'm juggling the other stuff. So
yeah, dude. So I'm all by myself. I'm juggling I'm juggling our balls. I'm juggling school balls. I'm just I'm all over the place with the juggling. Okay, no, but so I it just hit me. It just washed over me where I was like, oh, I have to go to school supplies. I have to fill out papers. Do I have to do what else do I have to do? Huh? And I was just like I had that like moment of like, wait, what if I miss something and he doesn't go to school this year? Did I fail? You know, so like, but so I took care of all of that. I did all the stuff, but like it takes up like brain space, and you know, like I was just like exhausted, like going through all that, and I had to go to a school and do the open house and do all this stuff. So it's just like, by the time I did all of the like parenting stuff and like, you know, like after, I mean, I was so tired. Like after our trip, I was like, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing junk.
Yeah, I mean, I was utterly exhausted. Like I was like beyond exhausted is not even the word. I mean, being over 30 and having to stand for what was it, 5.5 hours or something like that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm just saying like that. Okay, so let's just put a pin in my like. I failed this week because we had so much to do. Part of having so much to do and part of what made me fail, it was all Steven's fault. I'm gonna say 100% of it was Steven's fault because he invited me on a trip. And what I didn't know, Steven, was that it was going to change my life forever. that we would go on a trip and I would no longer be the me that I once knew, Steven, that I would, as a human being, die at least once during this trip and be hopefully more, maybe ghosted.
The best running joke I think ever for us as like a unit, like.
So, but okay, so I submitted for the approval of the ostrich colony. We call this segment the tale of the Bucketverse. So Steven, okay, Steven approaches me. He's like, you know, like a good friend does, and he's like, hey, I love this band. They're great. I know you're gonna like them. I've done that to Steven many times. He's ignored me every single time. It's fine, no big deal.
That's not true. I've checked out a lot of Spew.
Listen,
they're
I
awesome.
like Coheed. I think Coheed's like the biggest one that I was like, hey Coheed. but like, to your credit, once you fell into them, you fell hard, you know.
Got so drunk in that Cambria for sure.
Man. But for me, I flirted with it. I was like, oh, like Steven, he introduced me to the band, the Deer Hunter, and I was like, yeah, I'll listen to them. So I listened to them. I was like, yeah, they're good. I like, it's a lot. It's a whole concept, you know, like the concept albums are like a lot to take in. Like the music's like this, like progressive kind of like eclectic, like, you know, mix of stuff. So I was like, yeah, this is good. And Steven, so you invited me. You're like, let's go. We're going to see them live. And of course I'm like, I'm in, I'm all in. Let's do this. You know, I didn't know what to expect. So we hit the road, dude. The three of us, me, and you and Brandon, your amazing, hilarious brother. Dude, I love Brandon so much.
Dude, he's like on par. Like he like rolls like so. He's so funny, dude. Like
I love Brandon so much. Brandon made me like the three of us laugh so much during this trip that like I had I am 36 years old. I had a moment in the car where I literally mentally was like, stop laughing. You're gonna die. Like
this is it. This is gonna kill you.
I was like, if I don't actually get some oxygen to my heart, I'm good. It's gonna give up on me. It's gonna be like, nope, no more. Like it was okay. So we're on the road, Steven. We're on the road. We're driving. You're driving fine. We're doing great. We're making good time. We're going across state. We're making all kinds of jokes, having a grand old time. I don't remember exactly what you were doing, but you know, like you're looking down at something, maybe looking like changing the radio or something. By the way, didn't swerve, nothing like that. Completely perfectly on the road, just driving. And I look up, and I just see a bucket, just a bucket.
Now, on I-75 too.
On I-75, we are going, I don't know, almost 80 miles an hour, if not. You know, like we're going pretty fast. We're going fast enough. I see this bucket, like a love interest in a rom-com in slow motion sees the one that they're gonna marry by the end of this movie. like. Time stands still and I can move the popcorn to get my first like good look at this bucket who's going to be like a big part of my life from now on. I'm just like, well, this is about to happen. And like, so like I watched this bucket and it's one of those moments, and we all know those moments, dude. Like they all happen in a split second and also in like the span of an eternity, you know, like those moments where it's like, it takes forever, but it's also gone like in the blink of an eye. Dude, I watched this bucket perfectly navigate around other cars, just like bounce, boom, 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 right into our lane. And I'm like, nope, there's no avoiding this. But like at this point, if this is Frogger, we're done. If this is if this were my car, I would be toast. Like this is like hello darkness, my old friend. Like I'm gone. Like there's Anthony, like rip, you know. So I watched this bucket and I'm like, not enough time for my life to flash before my eyes, and also enough time to write a novel about how beautiful and crazy this bucket situation is. So I watch it and it bounces, and just as you look up, you're like, like we just kind of feel like boom, 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 like under the car, just, like briefly, just one of those, like almost like nothing, like just like a, and like it's gone, and we're like, your Jeep.
That was great. Yeah, I'm like, Jeep. I was like, actually,
yes. Yeah. So Steven, you literally did Jeep. So we're all like, that was crazy. We just ate a bucket and it was like nothing, like no big deal.
Not a spot of damage at all. Like it was just
not a bit. But Steven, then like it's just...
so basically we just keep driving and everything seems normal. We're making jokes. We go get some food. We go to this awesome, what was the awesome comic book shop called? Gods and Monsters. It was like a action figures. It was actually more action figures and collectibles than comics, but there was quite a bit of comics there too.
Yeah, that was great.
But we're doing all this crazy thing, I think this is really what starts it, is we're walking out of the God and Monsters comic, and I look straight down and I see Jesus C logo. And I'm like, Jesus crab. And I don't know why I went to crab. That was the first thing I thought of. And
we're all walking, and Steven's thinking about like crucifying crustaceans. Like, wait, like what?
Jesus, like obviously Jesus Christ, but no, Jesus crab.
It was the funny, like, okay, so the sign actually said Jesus Christo, right?
Yeah, so then
it was just Jesus Christo.
After I said crab, I go Jesus crisp. Oh wait, no, Jesus exactly what I went. Jesus crab. No, that's making Jesus Crisp. Wait, what? No, Jesus Christ. Why would it be Jesus Crisp?
So
and then it was Jesus Crisp.
Steven, something's going on in Steven's brain. Steven's having a stroke. Steven is not going to make it through this. We don't know what's happening. Yeah, so we get in the car and like, dude, like, okay, so I remember we start driving and you're like, oh, the GPS wants to take us this way? I feel like we can go this way. And you kind of took like another, like a slightly more circuitous route.
Well, because I was nervous. I was driving. I'm like, I don't want to pull out into Orlando traffic, so I'm going to go around this block. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're driving around this block, and we look up and we see a helicopter. Okay, and the helicopter is like awkwardly tilted. You know, like sometimes helicopters do that in a cool way, where it's like, "Oh, the raise a flag, oh, red, white, and blue," and it's like cool, like sideways helicopter. That's not this. Like this was like. Like 6 people on a helicopter having the worst day of their life trying to figure it out, like trying their best, just like like that's all I could like. It was like Tina from Bob's Burgers when she's like driving the car and she's just slowly going toward the other car. That's how it felt. It was like you see this helicopter and it's because it was kind of like this, and it just awkwardly was like like this, like it just kind of corrected itself sideways awkwardly, but didn't like, it kept overcorrecting. And
it just looked scary because it's like, man, that person does not know what they're doing. But it was probably just windy or something like that.
I don't know anything about helicopter technology, but I will tell you that neither do they, Steven. Neither do they. No, it was so we're all kind of watching this while Steven's navigating, trying to find our way around, you know. So we're making our way, and we're kind of watching this helicopter, and we stopped at this light, and there's, you know, like an empty building on our right, and there's like, you know, we're making our way through, and we need gas. So Steven's like, oh, there's a gas station over there. So we make our way all the way around. It seems to take a long time. I don't know. Like, I don't remember the car.
I mean, we made like 3 zombie jokes about the helicopter leaving the apocalypse, and then like...
Yes. So we're just making jokes. It felt like we were in the car forever, and then... We stop at a light near a gas station, and we look to our right, and there's a Jesus crab sign, and we had gone nowhere. Like we were in the car for like 20 minutes.
We basically went nowhere.
We went nowhere. We just we did a slight U-turn, and we were like, this is insane. So anyway, we go to the gas station while Steven's pumping gas. Brandon and I watched the helicopter awkwardly come back and land on an abandoned building, and we're like, what is happening? What is this helicopter? What is going on?
We thought it was landing on the Del Taco, if I'm not mistaken.
We're like, these people need tacos, and I get it.
Tacos now.
I would also learn to fly a helicopter in apocalypse for tacos. Like, if it was like, you know, there are zombies out there, but you know, tacos are at stake. You know, so anyway, so dude, so the helicopter lands, and we watch like 5 people get off a helicopter, like just like onto a and it's a little far away. So we're like, what's going on? What is this emergency? You know, we're like, who is flying this helicopter? You know, and I'm looking, so I turn around and I'm like, Steven, helicopter, and he's like looking up, and I'm like, and we're trying to like get his attention, and he looks, and like, did you see it take off again?
Yeah, it like lifted up, and then like it was doing weird stuff. I didn't see it go anywhere though.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. So I looked, and it was there, and people were getting off of it, and then when I yelled at Steven, and when I turned around, it was gone, and I was like, I don't know what happened. And so Steven gets in the car, and we just smell gasoline, like crazy amounts of gasoline.
And that's like what starts everything. Was it Brandon that like even made the initial joke?
Yeah,
of course it was. Brandon's fucking hilarious.
Oh, it was so good.
So Brandon basically goes, dude, we died. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And at first it started off as like the gas we're smelling is actually we never left the garage.
Never left the house. We never left the garage.
All of our bodies are just sitting in the garage, and this whole thing's just a fever dream, basically, as we're dying. And
then we're all driving, and it occurs to us, like, almost simultaneously, like, we're all just like, the bucket!
The bucket!
And then, so we had this moment where it was like, and it was, you know, it was like Steven, like, having like his weird Jesus Christ moment and Jesus crap moment, and then like the helicopter being so awkward, and we're like, wait, what if there's like an emergency helicopter lift? And then we're like, you know,
Super Saiyan not working out. Remember, there was like a line out the door.
Everything was really weird. It just felt kind of like surreal, and nothing was bad, but nothing was going great. It was just very uncomfortable and like weird. So we were like, what if the bucket got us? You know, so dude, from that moment on, like, there were so many little stupid moments that, like, we were just, like, it kept coming back where it was, like, we were thinking, like, oh, my God, that guy looks like our friend from high school. Oh, my God, that guy looks like this guy. And it was, like, what if it's, like, people looking over at us, like, wake up, Steven. You know?
But, dude, that the initial bucket realization is when we turned back on that road that was in between Jesus Crab and God Monsters. And we were all laughing so hard. That's, like, the heart attack moment for you.
Yes.
I was literally laughing so hard that my diaphragm couldn't like spasm anymore to laugh. Like it was like painful. And then, yeah, like you're saying, like all these jokes just started spawning. Like we were standing outside waiting for the show to start. And I was like, does anyone else smell like burning meat? And Brandon's like, clear. It's like, I'm trying to start my heart. It's my hair burning.
Just yeah, dude. Oh my God. It's just like so. I'm sure everyone here has a similar story about thinking that a bucket sent them into an alternate reality with their friends and they're smelling their flesh. I'm sure everyone who's watching right now can totally relate. But like, isn't that what going on a road trip with your closest friends is all about? Is literally like we created a full solid language in a day. You know what I mean? Like
that joke is like permanent. Like that means that anytime us three are together and something happens and it seems weird, it just becomes an addition to us on dying on that scene, basically.
It's so true. It all goes to next.
Brandon was like wiping his sweat. He's like, "Ooh, it's hot." And it was like bleeding or something. Bleeding.
So we had a crazy day. Like we just had a crazy day, and it was so much fun. And like the bucket situation just kept coming back, and it was hilarious. And it's just like those kind of callback jokes and like running gags are so much funnier when you're with like your close friends, and that kind of stuff, dude. And then so we're at the show. I had a moment. I actually like I didn't plan on talking about, but like I had a moment at the show where I saw someone and I was like, I know that guy. I was like, that guy looks like someone I knew like 25 years ago. Because I'm an old person, but I was like, that looks like someone I knew when I was like 13 or 14. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Josh. Looks way older. Like, I mean, and you look great, Josh, if you're watching this. I'm just, but like, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's him, like that looks like him. So this guy works at the club we were going to, at the venue. We get up there to scan tickets, and I'm just like, you know what? I have to ask, because I have a really good memory for faces, dude. I'm just like, is your name Josh? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, holy crap. Are you friends with Mike Fabosi? He's like, yeah. I'm going to be in his wedding next month. I'm like, yes. I was like, yes. I knew you. You know, it was like so. It was so crazy. It was like, you know,
He remembered you too, which was awesome.
Well, I mean, did he though? Did he though? You know, but no, like, no, I don't. Like, I'm way, like, dude, I'm so far, like, because my stupid like memory for like facial recognition when I know people, you know, I'm just like, oh, I know him from Michael's in, you know, 2002, or I know him from, you know, or whatever it is. So, but like, I'm so used to people being like, I don't remember. You just look like a pale guy with skinny arms. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you, you know? So like, but he, like, to his credit, he's like, yeah, I have known you since, you know, I was in, you know, 9th grade or whatever. And that's, you know, because that's how old he was. But dude, it was just crazy. It was cool to see, but also I was like, people from my like distant past are coming into my life to visit my corpse, Steven.
Yeah, because we're dead. We're friggin' dead.
Yeah, freaking dead. I didn't make it. One of us probably made it. So anyway, the show was great, dude. There were 2 bands before the main band, varying levels of interest for us in general, but like we had such a good night.
For sure. And then, dude, like the Deer Hunter, like, it's amazing because like when you listen to the Deer Hunter on album, it's like there's so many sounds going on. And like you're like, there's no way that's going to translate well live because it's so hard to get sound levels right. We know this, like we heard it in the first 2 acts. There was nothing wrong with them, but you can always tell, like even when I go see Cody, the opening acts, it seems like they get the worst mixes. And
dude, okay, my theory is that the main band has a saboteur. They hire someone, Steven, they hire someone. It's like the Hamburglar who's out of work because they don't really use him in McDonald's anymore. So he's still just like, how can I get into trouble? That's the Hamburglar voice. Don't look it up. But he's like, what can I do to cause trouble? And he goes and he sabotages only slightly the levels on every instrument and he mutes them a little bit. So then they sound slightly worse to make the main band sound so much
fantastic.
Better. Like, dude, I was telling Amy about that where I was just like the first band, for instance, we went to see these bands, and the first band, the guy had a voice that sounded just like the guy from Muse to me. Like, he was just like, you know, it was something that's like easy to replicate, but still impressive in its own right. But regardless, he sounded like the guy from Muse, but you couldn't understand a word he was saying the whole time because of the tones and because of like the levels in the live performance, along with, you know, like just the production of everything. The second band had similar issues with like the, you know, enunciation and like couldn't really understand what they were saying, but I was a bigger fan of the second band in general. I'm a sucker for like male-female vocals and like keyboards and stuff. So I'm just like, you know, I was more into that one. But dude,
and she was awesome too. Like dude, her stage presence was wonderful.
Oh yeah, no,
I believe they were called what was it? The World is a Beautiful Place, I think is what they were called.
I No Longer Want to Die.
Yeah, The World is a Beautiful Place. Yep.
Yeah,
I No Longer Want to Die. Yep.
I No Longer Want to Die. Yeah, dude, they were a lot of fun, and like I really did enjoy them. I actually bought a beer cozy or beer koozie for Amy, and I got a CD from them, you know, because like I like supporting stuff like that. But like as much as I did enjoy them a lot more, their sound quality was like, it's like listening to music underwater. And then when you listen to the Deer Hunter, when the Deer Hunter came on, I'm telling, like, dude, we're older people. I've been to a million shows and I've rocked them all. No, like, sorry, no, but like, but no, but dude, I've been to a million shows and like, usually, in a lot of cases, whatever the sound like quality is in general in shows, it's like you can't expect much better. Like if I can't,
because I just thought it was the venue. Like the venue's a little tight, maybe the sound's bouncing weird inside.
Yes, dude, that's exactly what I expected. I was just like, you know what? This is a kind of small venue. This is a lot of music. There's a lot going on, so it's bouncing everywhere. There's no containing this. This is, you know, it's gonna be crazy. Not the case for freaking Deer Hunter. When Deer Hunter came on, when I first heard this man sing, I was just like, how? How? Like
an angel.
The way I could, with so many instruments going on, everything was clear and crisp. I could hear and understand every single word he was saying. And it was just like perfect. And like, dude, and it was like
goosebumps.
And it was like record quality sound. Like the reproduction of that level of like composition was freaking incredible.
Yeah, because I mean they have like the steel drums, they have like all those different like effects going, and they had guys playing those instruments. It's not like it was all just.
I mean, Like he could have, like like anyone could have just pushed play and let half of that be like a soundboard, like just like a track that they play along to. Not what they did, you know.
No, it was all live. And then, dude, the backup singer, the guitarist, like his voice is like perfectly complements Casey's. Like it was just great, dude.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was an incredible show, and then I loved every second of it. I had so much fun with you guys. I love making those memories with you guys. And then I can tell you, Steven, during the show, I mentioned getting Taco Bell, and you and Brandon, in just like in the display of brotherhood and solidarity, we're so into it, and I was like, yes.
We're all getting Taco Bell.
because dude, like, you know what that like I mean, you have like the girls and Tina, and like you know what it's like when people argue over food, and it's like someone wants Taco Bell and someone wants McDonald's and someone wants pizza and someone wants, and you're like, but I really just wanted sushi or whatever, you know, and you're just like, but now I can't.
Yeah.
You know, it just becomes this like weird thing. So I was like, I want tacos, and you guys were like, I will leave this show early for tacos at this point. Like, you're like all in for taco. And I was like, yes, best friends forever. You know, it's just like, it was so great, dude. So you're like, Brandon, get it on the GPS. We're heading out of there. You know, like we left like on the last song, or like last two songs or something.
Yeah.
But like we left.
We basically did what I call the welcome home sprint when you go see Coheed. You leave during welcome home because everyone else is going to leave after welcome home. So you've already heard welcome home, so you just leave. And that's what we did.
What this is it's a life pro tip for people over 50. And that's and also who spiritually feel over 50. Like, so, but our backs are hurting and we want Taco Bell.
You sacrificed the biggest moment of the show to get out of there.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, like if you're doing this math, right? Like, do you want to be like sweatily bumping into people as you slowly make your way toward the door, funneling and breathing in people's air and touching their skin and having their sweaty skin after they've seen this whole show?
And
like,
dude, I don't know what it is about seeing concert or basically any concert I ever been to. People just like are like, hey, I'm gonna super not wear deodorant. Like, I'm gonna do I'm going the opposite. I'm actually rubbing my old shirts and pants on my armpits.
I wore these socks yesterday. I rubbed them on me and then I put them back on.
Dude, I swear it makes no sense.
No,
but then side note, before we jump to Taco Bell too, I want to note this place had like a small seating section that was obviously roped off for somebody special, but then there was these like cocktail tables, these high tables, and Anthony, Brandon, and I locked onto one because we were like the first ones in because we were waiting there for an hour. We got like right through the merch line, and then we parked at that cocktail table and we leaned against the table all night, and it was wonderful. I just want to add that.
At no point did I have to use my own bodily muscles because I don't have them, and the table has plenty. This table's perfect.
That table took a beating that night. or not at all, because we were all dead, and those just are our apparitions. Just
there were no tables, Stephen. There were no.
Everyone that was looking at us for the table was probably just like feeling like a cold burst of air.
Ooh,
what's that?
Something's off about these tables, and I don't quite know what it is. But yeah, dude. Okay, so like, what do you want? Do you want a bunch of people sweating all over you as you funnel just so you can hear the last song, or do you want to listen to an entire album, an extra couple of songs, and then go have delicious food? Like, it was like a best of both worlds.
After standing for 5.5 hours, Taco Bell was like basically heaven. Like, that was us like accepting our fates and moving on.
I was like, you know what? That's all I need. I need like I'm thinking way outside of the bun. I'm thinking about heavenly delights at this point, Stephen.
I'm thinking of some angelic, pillowy, seraphim tortillas right now is what I'm thinking of. So loaded with rehydrated bean. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Dude, so you're like, Brandon, punch it in there. Get us to the nearest Taco Bell stat. And Brandon's like, I got you, fam. He puts it in. It's right around the corner. We're like, it can't be better. This is heaven. We died and we've gone to Taco Heaven. This is amazing. It doesn't get any better.
And I just want to note to everyone, we are in downtown, but we are in like suburb downtown where it's like cobblestone street a little bit. There's like apartment buildings, but it doesn't feel very downtown right now.
I'll tell you, Stephen, we were walking and it felt like a ghost town. There was barely anyone there. We made it to the car.
It was like Old Town. It was probably Old Town of downtown. Old Town.
It's like there's no one there. There's no one there at all. So we're following directions and we turn. And Stephen, the world explodes with people, just millions and millions, like billions of if I had to put a number on it, it was 17 billion people who were standing on that, just on the road, crossing the road awkwardly, just like dancing on the road, all with like wearing various levels of clothing, which is okay, but also just like alarming when you saw no one, and now you're seeing a lot of people,
and a lot of them. Like it's
I'm seeing a lot of them, yeah. So it was weird. It was like, oh, this is nuts. So we're like, okay, we're in a real downtown area now. We have not been here in like our whole trip. This is new. So we're like, okay, where's this place? So we're driving and we look and we see that it's a downtown Taco Bell cantina, which is something that I didn't know existed, which
it looks so fancy.
I'll say though, genius. Like Amy and I were talking about it too. It's like, it's genius. Like if you, like the reason, I mean, you and I, we all wanted Taco Bell. People who are downtown drinking, being gross and dancing and doing all that stuff, like, who doesn't want tacos? I want tacos all the time.
And they're probably more affordable. Like I bet downtown Taco Bell costs more than.
Oh, probably.
Not downtown Taco Bell, but it's still Taco Bell, and you don't even have to leave. Like you just get wasted at the club and then stumble into Taco Bell and get your drunk food.
Taco Bell probably had beer. That's
that's how good it looked. And it was pretty too. It was like the corner of the building, and it was like an all glass structure.
Yeah, they had like
the bottom.
They had like a rope and like a waiting list. But so we see it and we're like, we are not getting out of this car. Like after standing and going through all that and like really wanting, we're like, no, we're gonna find a drive-through. This is gonna happen. So we stop. We're like, all right, you know what? Punch in the next one. But as we're talking, we stop at this red light, and Steven has his window down, and there's just a man.
Dude,
there's a man. First of all, there's a man in the center of the road in front of us with no shirt on and no shoes on. And there's a man just beside our car kind of doing like kind of yelling at the man. But the man in front of us, Steven, looked dangerous, I will say.
Dude, it's like, and I've never even watched this anime. I just know that they do these like stylized poses in it. It was like we stumbled into an episode of JoJo's, like or whatever that is, like because this dude was just doing like poses in the street, like to challenge this guy.
This man, I've never seen anyone do a Zoolander-esque pose and think it was intimidating. He wasn't. No, I need to you need to understand. He wasn't like putting his arms up, like he wasn't doing the thing. No. He was doing the thinker. He was doing like this weird like double like butt out. Like he did like, I think I saw him do 4 different poses in the span of like 1.2 seconds.
He was straight peacocking is what he was doing. It was insane. I've never seen it.
We died and we found that weird like spot in the universe where people are like, where like the peacock spirit was finding its way into its new body, and it's like, oh, what am I now? I don't know. That's what that was. It was literally like the nexus of different worlds. Like it was crazy. So we see this man and he is peacocking. He's like doing all this stuff, and like I'll tell you, like, dude, you can tell right away that is not someone you reason with. Like that is not someone you talk to. That's someone you go, oh, you are just a dangerous human person. You're barely human. Like I'm scared at this point because there's no talking to you.
If he would have put his palms together and started saying Kamehameha, I'd believe that he could shoot the wave.
100%.
Like I would be like this guy is like confident in what he's doing, but it's just I don't think it's doing what he thinks it's doing, but it's doing something and it's scaring me.
I don't speak peacock, but I'm pretty sure this is trouble.
We speak ostrich, sir. Ostrich, you gotta put your head in the sand and we'll understand you.
Oh my god! So essentially,
which is what we did. We put
that's pretty much so. we're driving so we're sitting there still. We're stuck at a light watching this scene, thankfully. I mean, of all of the realities we could possibly be in, Steven, the fact that we found our way through that corner, into that little
it's a stylized pose guy reality. I love that reality. It's a great reality.
The Bucketverse is the best universe, okay? That was incredible. So essentially, using words that Steven and I probably shouldn't use, the man to the left of us was like, get the hell out of here, essentially. And he insulted the guy, and the guy was like, he did the thing where he was just, Steven, how would you explain the way he responded to that? He
was just like, dude, I've just never seen someone go so far one way and then just completely shut down, because he was just like, oh man, and he just walked away. He just got
what? Okay, I'm just wondering, because it's not the guy hit him. The man didn't even threaten violence.
In fact, the man that threw the insult was backing away pretty far from this.
He was
dude.
clearly just like, hey, like, get out of here, you know, in such a way. But the man was like, I didn't expect you to do anything. I thought you were just gonna die in this moment due to my pose. Like what did he think was going to happen?
Dude, it was intense. Like it
was a weird standoff.
And then for him to just 180 and then just walk away.
He walked away.
Like,
just like
that dude dropped some of the craziest poses I've ever seen, and then he just walked away. Like, leaving everyone that saw that just confused for the rest of their lives.
But yeah, that was nuts. And then
when we were driving straight through, but he was kind of still like waving in and out of the downtown road.
And he was the kind of person that was like, oh, he might jump in front of our car and start doing poses and destroy the entirety of your Jeep. Like, we can take on a bucket. We can't take on this posing guy. Like this is one pose man. Like, it's like one punch. He does one pose. Like, your Jeep would just
splits in half.
It's like, we couldn't take it.
What if he was the bucket? Like, he was just... The poses was the bucket flipping.
He is the bucket. Oh, man. But what if we're all the bucket in some way, Steven?
That's the rosebud basically right there.
So we make our way. We're like, all right, we need Taco Bell. Let's go. There is no Taco Bell around. We're like, okay, you know what? Let's just get on interstate. We'll find an exit.
We got on I-4 and we took I-4 for a minute before
dude. We were on it, and then we ended up. We're like, you know what? Let's just settle for McDonald's. We can all get something from there. We go to a McDonald's middle of the night, thinking like, you know what? Might be a little line. Drunk people, like whatever. Like, you know, people want McDonald's, but like, we're gonna get our food. We need food. We're all hungry.
Starved. We hadn't eaten since like 2.
Yeah,
and it was like,
dude, it had been a while. So we go to this McDonald's and we get in line. We have our order ready. We're ready. We get to the front. I'm like, we all tell Steven what we want. We figure it out. Give Steven a card. But let's do this. The guy's like, I'll be with you in a minute, and he disappears forever. like
5 minutes. Like, he was just like, people were honking at us like in the drive-through, but the guy, it was a double drive-through. So the guy next to me that pulled up just before us and the other drive-through was waiting also. So
yeah, it was a solid, it might have even been 10 minutes, if not longer. Like, it was a long time to be drive-through, not speaking to anyone. It's one thing to wait for food if you're in a long line or what, you know, but we're just like waiting for someone to make an order. So finally the person comes back and he informs us that they're prioritizing, what was it, DoorDash and
Uber Eats.
Like, Uber Eats.
We have too many of these orders right now, so it's going to be at least 5 or 10 minutes before we can get to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So all of the
we're here. We're physically at McDonald's. Like, what happened to...
We weren't happy. We were about to go get the posing guy and throw him into McDonald's. Give me that fish sandwich, you know, and it was crazy. So we were like, so we just kind of like, we're done. We wanted Taco Bell anyway, so we take off.
And then we drove for like another 20 miles, I think.
We drove for another 20 miles before.
And then the Taco Bell.
This was a solid White Castle like journey.
It was, because even the Taco Bell we found, it was weird. We exited on the left off the interstate, which is weird. You never exit left, but it was an overpass where there was an accident. We went over this overpass and we're like driving through darkness, like into a town that it was somewhere near Lakeland. We get there, we get to the Taco Bell, and dude, we're the only ones there. Like, we're the first people that pull up to this freaking, and like Anthony said, it really was a White Castle moment, because we pull up and it literally, the building was glowing. Like, all the lights were just on. It was in a dark area of town. It was a new Taco Bell. It wasn't 2-story, but it was like one of those 1.5-story buildings where it was like a little bigger than the normal building.
Yeah, anyway. it was no, but so we get our food. We thankfully get to eat in the car, and it's heavenly, because I mean, honestly, it's just, we needed food at that point. We were
and that's the thing about Taco Bell is, I don't know about you, but whenever I get Taco Bell, all the Taco Bells by my house are like 20 minutes away, like in Cape Coral, because Cape Coral's huge. I had to drive 20 minutes all the way to Northeast Cape just to get Taco Bell. There's only 2 Taco Bells in Cape Coral. And by the time I get home, it's obviously cold or warm. It's not fresh. Fresh Taco Bell hits different for sure. Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Like, yes, perfect. It was the happiest I've ever been, Steven. And then we got home and I passed out in your room. I passed out in the guest room, and it was the best. It was the best trip. I had a great day. And then, dude, yesterday I was like, I went home. I went to Amy's. You know, I go to Amy's house, and I was like, last like school or last like summer day that's not a school day, you know, like tonight's a school night, gotta get to bed a little earlier, you know, gonna have to edit this episode and get to bed, you know, like we gotta do this. So yesterday I was like, let's have a solid fun day, you know, like let's do whatever you guys want to do. What do you want to do? Like, well, we want to play with Legos first. I'm like, okay, but what Legos? And they're like, so they asked me, so Atlas asks me if I'll go to our house and pick up his favorite Legos and bring them back to Amy's house. And I'm like, in most cases,
before school.
yeah, I was like, in most cases, I would say no. I would say we'll bring them next time. Let's just play with whatever we have here, you know? But I was also like, okay, you know what? I can go do that. I can also grab my tablet while I'm there, and I'll just like send Steven, like I'll send you the like flats, and like, you know, I can do that. You know, like that's
which
cool.
You did. I have that link now, which is awesome.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? 2 birds, 1 stone. I can do this. Like, it makes everyone happy, and I get like my adult stuff out of the way. So I'm like, no big deal. Hop in the car. Amy's on like a work meeting. I'm like, the kids are playing, so I'm like, all right, hop in the car. I run home. My house is only like 5 minutes away from Amy. It's a real quick drive. It's like the most convenient, best situation I've ever had it like in my life. You know, like she's, you know, my girlfriend only lives 5 minutes away from me. Soon she'll live closer, Steven, because we're gonna move in together.
Like 5 seconds away.
Yeah, but no, I'll talk about that next week, dude. So I go home, grab the Legos. I grab all of Atlas's favorite Legos. I know what they are. We play with them a million times. I know exactly which ones they are. I grab them. I put them all in there. I grab my tablet. I grab all my stuff. I get in the car. I go to Amy's. I put in like she has like a gate, so I put in like her name, and you know, like I go forward, and there's a stop sign, right? And I stop, and then I go, and I see behind me that there's a police officer that was parked in the community, and he turns on his car and he slowly starts following me, and I'm like, oh great.
What a dingus.
I was like, yeah, I'm like freaking great. So I do the thing that everyone does when the cops like directly behind them, especially in a residential area like that, where it's like you're very careful to make sure like I'm exactly on the speed limit, if not like a mile below the speed limit. I'm like when I stop at the next stop sign, I did the thing where you stop for an extra 3 seconds. I did, you know, and then like so I turn, and Amy's house is literally the next house. I'm about to turn. I put my directional on, and his lights go on. And I put the car in park, and this police officer comes out, and he tells me he's pulling me over because I rolled through the first stop sign, is what he's saying. I was like, this is the most ridiculous situation. I was just like, this is absurd, you know?
Like you're just policing this one stop sign.
Yeah. Like this
you barely probably even rolled it. I can't even imagine you.
Of course. And like, and that's the thing, is like, it's not like I rolled through it haphazardly. No, I stopped like the appropriate length of time, you know, to stop, to look, to make sure no one's coming. And then you go. Like, it's not, why do we have a society like this where it's like, well, if you didn't stop for a solid 7 seconds, no, this is stupid. Like, we all have brains and eyes, and you know, like if you're considerate of your surroundings and you recognize if there are people, it's a situation like, it's a kind of situation where it's just like, you can tell there's no one in the vicinity at all. You stop and you're like, how long do I have to sit here? Do I wait for a car to, you know, like, no, like it was obvious.
In fact, in my opinion, in those situations, when you roll a stop sign, you should only get ticketed if an accident happens because of your neglect. And it should be a bigger ticket.
Like either an accident or some sort of danger that can be proven. I did nothing wrong. Like, there was literally no danger to anyone at all. I did everything I did was fine. You know, just like freaking, I don't care. Like, I'm freaking chaotic good. I don't care about your stupid.
And I know you
with you, but
and no offense to your car, but like, I know your acceleration. You weren't like, there's no way that car jumped to 30. It was probably just hitting 10 by the time it was even anything, you know?
Yeah. So dude, he pulls me over, and then, so I'm like, all right, I'm just trying to stay positive. Like, I got to the point, I'm like, whatever, I'm silver linings guy now. Like, I'm not gonna let this ruin my day. I'm not going to like get all up on my feels about this. I'm just gonna, whatever. Nothing I do, I don't have the cleavage to change this situation. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing I can do in this moment to better my situation, except for just be myself and hope for the best, you know? So I'm just trying to be nice to him, just, you know, give him what he is asking me for, doing the thing. And then he leaves and he's gone. He goes in his car for like a solid 5 minutes, dude. Like I'm sitting there just like you pulled me over because you think I didn't stop for an extra 2 seconds, and now you wasted five like the solid time. Like what do you do? Like how is this better? How is this beneficial to either of us or anyone? In fact, being in the middle of the road like this is causing more of a delay and more danger than anything I've done. And like so not to mention, dude. 2 cars go by while I'm there. So now I'm sitting here and I have to suffer the embarrassment of strangers assuming that I've done something wrong, passing me and looking at me in the window. And I'm just like, okay, well, at what point is this like abusive? You know, like at what point is it? Because like it's already too much. Like nothing was wrong, you know? Anyway, so I was like, this is absurd, but okay, whatever. So he comes back and he's just like, I was like, okay, best case scenario, he gives me a warning, and I just literally go into the house I'm parked right in front of right now, and I go home, and it's like, he wasted 5 minutes. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, he gives me a ticket for running at a stop sign, and I get points, or, you know, whatever happened, you know, in that situation, I pay money. Steven, he gives me something in the middle, where he gives me, I have good news, I have bad news. So this cop looks at me, he goes, I have good news and I have bad news. I'm like, shit.
What does that even mean, sir?
I was like, this is all, first of all, it's all bad news. It's all bad news. There's no good news here. The good news is like, you're going to be slightly less of a jerk to me in this moment. Is that what you're saying?
That's really it. It's
is that what this
like,
is? Is that what
my
this
time's
is?
already wasted.
So he tells me, he's like, okay, well, the good news is I'm only going to give you a warning for running a stop sign. The bad news is your insurance, my insurance is valid and perfectly fine. The card that I had, because I haven't kept a card on my, you know, like I didn't reprint my new card. It's an older card. And he's like, oh, it has to be an up-to-date card. And I was, even though it's the same numbers and everything. And even though I can prove that your insurance is valid and you've been paying it and everything's fine. So he's like, it needs to be an updated card. So it's going to be a $10 fee that you have to pay in person. So you can go to the clerk of courts and prove that you have an updated card for insurance.
Ridiculous.
So he gives me this like absurd chore that I'm like, thanks, man. Like, I have so much in my life that I have to do. It's literally the first week of school. I have 30 days to do this. I'm just like, okay, now I have a chore to do, which is just extra driving. Like, okay, you think I'm dangerous on the road and you want me to do more driving? Sir. Sir.
I'm going to roll every stop sign.
Every stop sign from now on. I will never stop. Sir, I'm sorry. I can't read and I don't know what an octagon is. I apologize.
So, dude, my little technique, whenever I get to which I understand, you don't need to employ a technique because you did nothing wrong. But like my spaz ass, I literally just quote the Offspring. I pull up to a stop sign. I go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I go. And that's about 3 seconds. So that's it. But I get it. I roll stop.
He pulls me over. I'm sorry, sir, but you only got the 5, 5. You did not get these. I'm like, wait, are you quoting Offspring right now? We all do. It's in the book.
We all do. It's the pretty fly for the white guy. Don't roll a stop sign. But no, like everyone rolls stop signs. No one who's ever driven has perfectly never rolled a stop sign because
of course
we all have eyes.
Yes.
And especially if you live like the way where we live, like we're not country, we're not full-blown city, we're like suburbia. And when you're in suburbia, sometimes there's no cars around and you can clearly see because you're not stupid.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, dude, it was so stupid. So and then he does this thing. The reason I like that I'm like, fine, whatever, fine. I'll wait until Atlas like goes with his mom next week. I'll have a day off at work at some, I think Thursday, and then I'll just go. It's fine. But he does this, Steven, where he's like, you just take a walk downtown. You bring your girl there. You can get a bite to eat while you're over there. Yeah, and I'm just like, he's trying to create like silver linings for a situation that he threw me into, where he's just like, oh no, I'm doing you a favor by giving you an opportunity to go to this. I'm like, I don't want to go downtown.
You should have been like, officer, wait outside. I will literally go print one right now and show you that it's valid.
I know. He knew. Like it was absurd, dude. But anyway, no big deal. It's stupid. It's a stupid thing. I'll take care of it next week. I'll forget for 30 days. It'll be $100. You know what, dude? It might be worth it if I can pay that $100 online and not have to go to the clerk. It's almost worth it. I don't want to leave. I don't want to go to the clerk of courts or anything else like that. But
I really feel like it just like gives their jobs like validity. Like sometimes, like not the cops, but even like the clerk of courts, like they have their obviously have to do stuff, but like all those little fees, like those, that's the thing too. Like we can get into a whole philosophical discussion on how stupid fines are and how BS they are for people that have money versus people that don't have a lot of money.
Dude, it's
like
nuts. I don't even care.
It should be percentage based if we're real.
Yeah, well, because okay, I don't even care. Like, if I'm never like super well off, unfortunate for our comic books and podcast situation. However, if I'm just rich enough to not care about tickets, if I'm like, oh, ha ha ha, like give me whatever ticket you want, it won't ever affect me, or no, I don't even have to drive anymore. That would be brilliant. You know what I mean? Like that'd be wonderful. There's a huge percentage of people who like just don't care about like cops at all, because like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna stop me for going 10 over? Give me that ticket. I will pay it. Like, that's it. Like, no big deal. But not us. Not, you know.
Yeah, no, not me for a long time.
Yeah, so, oh well. But, dude, it's a school night. I'm sure, like, like, you probably have a lot to do, too. I have to go and edit this podcast, and then I have to get the heck to bed, because I have not woken up. I have not woken up at 6 o'clock in the morning in a few months. Like, I've been sleeping in. Atlas has been sleeping in. Like, and now, Steven, I'm going to have to get up and wake up a sleepy vampiric child. Like, he's not going to want to wake up. He's going to be
upset.
Happy. Like, yeah. Like, he's not like an angry, like, temper tantrum, but he's not going to want to do it, dude. It's going to be one of those, like, I'm going to have to weekend at Bernie's him in school. Like, I'm going to have to, like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to raise his hand. I'm going to, like, answer questions. The teacher's going to be like, what are you doing here, grown man? And I'm like, you don't see me. This is an illusion. She's going to be like, this is my first year here, and I quit. Like, this is too much. Anyway, but yeah, dude, I have like I have to do the school tomorrow, so I have to get to bed. So what are we gonna do? What's this week gonna be like for you? What are you gonna do?
Well, I have everything that you flatted, so I think I'll just try to finish what you've sent me,
awesome.
And then I'll just do the rest of what's available. And
I have what I sent you, and then I have one more page that I literally have like one more character to do, and I can finish that myself and just send it over to you.
And then I'll just kind of what I think you should do is strictly work on word balloons, and then I'll just kind of assess once I get to the last few pages, or like once I'm almost done shading what I have from you, I'll see how much work it's going to be for me to just finish flatting and you to work on ballooning, because we obviously just want to get it done. So like, if you flatting is going to save me time so I can create graphic pages for the, other pages, like while you flat a little more, then we'll do it that way. But if not, I might just end up flatting and coloring it, because I can just literally paint, because a lot of the last like pages are just intense lighting, because he's like running in the streets, with moonlight. Yeah. So I literally, it's just like dropping a full paint bucket of color and then just splashing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those might not even be that intensive anyway. So.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. This week, the good thing about the school year, dude, is during the week I usually have at least one day where I'm just off of work and Atlas goes to school. Those days I just treat the comic like it's my job. I treat so then, like this week, for instance, tomorrow's first day of school. Thursday I have off work. And Atlas is going to go to school. I'll drop him off at 7:30 in the morning. I'll have him.
Just got the day.
I have a day until 2 o'clock to letter, and I'm gonna like go and hang out with Amy and stuff. But up until like I'll probably go hang out with her at like 11 or 12. So I'll have several hours to just letter. So like that's gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna have nights, and then I'm gonna start having that time again, which is I haven't had that all summer. All summer it's been like. The daytime is for children, basically. It's like the daytime is hang out with kids, which has been awesome. We had such a good summer. It's probably like the best summer I've had in freaking decade. Like it's
awesome.
It's been amazing. And like I will happily have every summer like this from now on. Like it's amazing. But I have had a little more trouble balancing like the work in like home life, and I've been prioritizing the home life because like new relationship, and it's like fresh and like so good, and like I'm trying to make sure that
it's just growing and strengthening.
And like that's just gonna keep getting better. And as far as the work stuff, I don't feel like I've been neglecting it very much. It's just been a little more difficult to juggle it all. And it's going to be easier. Like we're getting to the point where we're going to move in together, which is going to totally give me more time. We'll talk about that next week. That's going to be an interesting evolution for us and for like as a relationship, and for you and I as like, friends and podcasters. And
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome, dude. I can't.
We can even do like a double host some week or something like that. Have Tina and I and you and Amy. That'd be cool.
Oh man, I'll talk to her about that. We'll see. I don't want to. I don't want to
out there.
Nervous. Yeah. We'll see. But hi, Amy, you're amazing. But anyway, all right, dude. So that's what we're doing next week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, please go join us on youtube.com/WeHaveIssuesPodcast and just hit the subscribe button. You don't even have to watch. Just go and hit the subscribe button and help us out. We really appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here for us. Thank you to everyone who joined us for our episode 100 live special. That was so much fun, and we can't wait to do more live episodes in the future. Like all of the audience participation was so freaking fun. Like it was so great to like answer questions.
It was awesome.
Talk to everyone and like just to see everyone. Like it was really hard to not get like emotional because I don't know. We don't hear a lot from people, but when we do, it's always like this overwhelming, like support, and I just freaking love it. I love our friends. The love
and support is just like it's beyond like what we ever received. So it's just, dude, it's amazing.
It's been amazing. Anyway, but thank you all, and we will definitely have more of those events. Check all of our links below. We have, we're on Facebook and Twitter and Patreon and all of that stuff. Go check us out there. Come be friends with us. Ask us questions. Get to know us, and you get to be a part of our show. If you're interested, contact us at one of the links below, and we'll talk to you about being a guest and being interviewed on our show. So anyway, Steven, it's been amazing. I had such a great time with you this week. I'm glad we got to freaking go away. I can't wait to do that again. That's gonna
be fun. For sure.
But all right, dude, we know what we're gonna do this week. So thank you all. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And this has been episode 101 of We Have Issues. See you next time. Oh my god. He turned around and headed in a different direction, like they never knew each other at all, Steven.
What if he started humming that?
Chiodos. We did it, Steven.
All right, edit that shit, boy.
I got it. All right.
Edit that shit, boy.
I'll talk to you soon, dude. Love you.
Love you too, dude. Bye.
Bye.